Alrighty, hi everybody, welcome back. This is a follow-up reading from my last one that I did with Hernandez. At the end of that one, he was clearly getting really excited. I was getting like really anxious, and it was just, it was all over the place. The energy was pretty frenetic. I did like call an end to that after about an hour, just because I was getting really tired and it was hard to hold on to it. But anyway, I felt like that he didn't quite get to say everything he wanted to say. So he has been kind of tagging along. I've felt his energy, and he's just been kind of popping in and out of my head since then. And today I woke up really anxious and my stomach's just in knots, and I know that it's him. He wants to just kind of keep talking. So this is what today is. Hey, Aaron. I'm here. And okay, let's get this on then. Now, when we finished talking last time, we were using the Lenormand, and you were talking about blackmail. There was something to do with blackmail related to the second murder. Oh, actually, just prefacing this, he actually has come through. He did come through the other day, and he told me that he'd been involved in a murder, and now I'm thinking at least one murder before the two guys in the car. So the feeling with that is that he wasn't the person who did the murder, as like he didn't actually he didn't pull the trigger. He was there, he was involved in as much as he was kind of like there when it happened, there when it went down is what he says. He was there. And what came through today was that kind of, these are my words, that kind of paved the way for him to feel that he could do that, if that makes sense. That experience kind of just sort of opened a doorway for him almost, sort of making it permissible as such for him to get to that level. That's when he got really into guns and having a gun with him. And so those people, or whatever it was that went down with that one, I haven't got more details, and I haven't asked for more details, but that's just what's been going on for the last few days. There's the sorts of like little things that have been popping up that he's been kind of putting into my head. Anyway, so where I wanted to just pick up with today was just if he wants to talk more about that blackmail, may not. There is a real excitement here, so yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm going to structure the reading, but I will ask him about his death later on, about the suicide. No qualms about it. He did kill himself. There wasn't it wasn't a conspiracy or anything. He did it. He killed himself. He hung himself, and actually he got advice from other guys in there about how to do that. Okay. Anyway, I think I'll start with the Lenormand because I want to ask him about oh, sorry, I gotta calm down because he's just, it's full on energy. Fuck, dude. Okay, alright, so this, oh, fuck, mate, alright. This really nervous energy right now. Okay, just calm down a bit. Calm down. Alright, let's just start. Aaron. Now, last time we were talking, you mentioned that there was blackmail, and that's what sort of related to the second murder with the guy on his own that you killed. Just want to clarify with you. Give me a yes or a no regarding the blackmail. Was there blackmail around that situation, around that murder? Big swings, dude. Come in. If you're going to be here, just be here and do it. Okay. Big swings, come on. Yeah, okay. There was blackmail. This is yes. That's no. All right. You want to talk about that with me? Let's go. What was the go? Who was blackmailing you? Can you tell me who was blackmailing you? All right, let's go. All right, yeah, your reputation come to an end. Contract. Okay. All right, so some kind of contract, financial contract to do with his work, this related to. So it looks as though whatever this blackmail had something to do with was going to interfere with the contract, his work contract, because it's going to affect his reputation, bring his reputation to an end, and losing hope around something. So, all right, so, yeah, okay, fair enough. So whatever this blackmail had to do with was going to bring your reputation to an end, and also impact on your, the contract, your work contract, which is obviously going to have something to do with your finances. This could relate to a strong man as well, somebody strong, a strong man as well in that zone relates to that. So, okay, let's go. So can you give me some kind of indication? Was it a man? It was a man. Was it a strong man? Is that what it was? A strong man blackmailing you? What was this about? Strong man blackmailing you? Yep, coming to an end quickly. Correspondence. All right, okay, so this definitely, you definitely saw this as impacting your reputation. Okay, I can see that. This correspondence was definitely, this letter was definitely going to bring an end to your reputation. I can see that. It does relate to an older man, someone wiser, someone older and wiser than you. And travel as well, potentially some kind of travel around your reputation travel. What's this? Some kind of older man, a cycle here, okay. Yeah, okay. I feel as though the person who was blackmailing him, who'd corresponded, was actually the person who he killed. We're looking here at, he severed it really quickly. He just took things into his own hands and severed it really quickly to stop this correspondence from getting out there. And I think that has to do with an older man and stopping this message from getting out there. And I think that in terms of that, the most obvious person was going to be Odin, Mr. Lloyd. Can you clarify that for me, man? Was the person who was blackmailing you the person you killed? Was it Odin Lloyd? Big swings, man. Come in. Come on. I can feel you. You're all around me. You're inside me. You've been here. Come on. If you're going to do it, do it. Big swings if you're going to do it. Come on, Aaron. Come on, man. Come in. Come on. Big swings. Was it Odin Lloyd? Is that why you killed him? Was he blackmailing you? There was a message, right? Right. Yep. Okay. Yes. It looks as though that's what was going down, and that's why Mr. Lloyd was killed. Was anybody else involved? Was there anybody else involved? Is there anybody else involved in this? Did anybody else know that that's what you were going to do? Let's have a look. Secret. All right. This is a secret. You were really keeping this to yourself, weren't you? You were really keeping this on your chest. You're really keeping this on your chest. You're definitely worried about your reputation coming to light, people having some kind of awareness of your reputation. It could have been an older man who you're worried about, an older man hearing about your reputation, an older man hearing about this, an older man who's actually very cunning and wise, very wise, probably an older businessman, somebody who's very good at getting what they want, somebody who's very knowledgeable, and somebody who you probably actually... You wanted to keep this from them. You wanted to keep this from an older man. This is your secret from an older man. You're really worried about what they thought of your reputation, and you're worried about, because you were really good at talking around your reputation and talking yourself up and talking about that. Right, I got it. You were really good at tell me the words. You were really good at, playing the game. You're really good at playing the game. You're really good at playing the game, and you're really worried about other people, this man getting some kind of clarity around you. Now, what was this clarity around? What were you worried about the clarity for? What were you being blackmailed about? Was it about your affairs with other men, or was it about the first murder? Did somebody know about the first murder and you're worried about that coming out? What were you being, what had come to light? What did Odin know that you didn't want anybody to know? What did he tell you he was going to tell people? Come on, dude. Come in, Aaron. Wow, okay. Fuck, okay. What were you worried about? Some kind of travel. All right. Okay, travel's come up a little bit. Now, were you traveling to other places to meet people? Were you traveling, doing some kind of travel to meet up with people? Is that what it was? Because it looks as though there was some kind of obstacle. Yes, we know this was going to be life-changing. If this came out, this message was going to be life-changing. Were you in some kind of a correspondence? Were you in some kind of back and forwards correspondence with somebody who lived far away? Is that what it was? Some kind of backwards and forwards correspondence with somebody who lived far away, and worried about you. Was it someone you worked with? Oh, fuck. Okay, come on. Let's just bring this down. Let's clarify this. Let's clarify this a little bit. All right, he's really excited, and I'm having a really hard time concentrating because this energy is just I almost feel like I'm going to be sick. Okay. Let's have a look. Just one thing at a time, dude. One thing at a time, it'll come out. Okay, so here's this proposition from last time. And you had to cut it off. All right, you had to cut off this correspondence, right? You were worried about it. We know that. You were worried about the gossip. We know that. What's the travel about? Cutting off some kind of travel? Were you traveling for some kind of an affair? Were you traveling for some kind of... Was it somebody that you were traveling with? Were you traveling for some kind of an affair? But it was an obstacle, right? It was an obstacle. Long term. An obstacle to being grounded. Really, and a social obstacle. Something to do with an obstacle socially. So there's travel. There's gossip and anxiety around this travel and you're worried that it's going to affect your reputation, social reputation, and create some kind of obstacle for you. Okay, all right. A woman. So there's a woman here. There's a woman. Who's the woman? Some kind of obstacle for you, man. Come on, I can feel it. What was the life-changing thing? Life-changing, okay, so it was going to change your relationship with your partner. Oh, okay. Who's going to change your relation? Oh, so now... Oh, okay. All right. You're worried about this relationship. Life-changing. If this message came out to your partner, it was going to be life-changing. Really life-changing. And you were going to have to do a lot of talking around that. But this woman, also, there's this woman here who in your social setting, who's like kind of using her words. She's exposed. You found out her. Okay, there's a woman in your social setting who's causing this change that you had to cut off. And she's like, you found out her kind of true nature, didn't you? You found out her true nature, this woman's true nature. And it was really going to affect your relationship with your partner and your stability there. We can see that. And you're worried about this gossip around the stability and your reputation. We can see that. Okay, I understand that. Okay, so it feels like now I need some kind of clarity here, man. So the gossip, what were you worried about coming to light? What were you worried about? I don't think it was the murder. I feel as though it was another relationship coming to light. Okay, yep, okay, it was another relationship coming to light. And this woman here knew about it too. So you killed him, but she knew as well. She was related to this correspondence as well, big time. She was definitely, and she was like, she also was somebody who had to be stopped in their tracks. She had to be stopped in her tracks as well. Oh. This is his partner, isn't it? This is that guy's partner. Well, you killed him instead of her. I got it. You killed him instead of her. I got it. She knew too. Okay. She knew what was going on, and you killed him, and you could have killed her, but you killed him instead. That makes sense. She's in your social realm, and she's an obstacle for you. What's this travel? Obstacle to your traveling. Is this just advancement? Is this just your clear... Oh, okay. She's an obstacle to your just clear... she's an obstacle for your clear passage. All right. She's an obstacle for your clear passage. That makes sense. She's an obstacle. But you killed him instead. Because she's close to you. But you found out her true nature because she revealed herself to you, didn't she? And she is the one who made this proposition to you. She's the one who made this proposition to you. Ah, okay. And she hit you up about something, didn't she? Yep. She is the one who made this proposition to you. She hit you up and confronted you about your reputation and your position, your holding of your position in the community. Ah, okay. So, but you killed him and not her. So you just wanted to scare the shit out of her, right? Right, that's right. You just wanted to scare her. Okay. And can you tell me if this was about, did I already do this? I can't even remember. We're going so fast. Was this about a relationship that you were having with somebody else? You said that already, didn't you? Is this about a relationship, like an affair that you were having, Aaron? Come, dude, come talk to me. Come on, man. Oops, sorry, that was me. Is this about a relationship? Ah, okay. And it was with another man? Yeah, okay. So she was going to expose your relationship with another man, and you killed Odin because she was his partner, but she was actually the one who was doing the talking. She mentioned something, or she mentioned something to you. Right. Now, what I want to ask you is, Did she really? Because I feel like asking you, were you just paranoid? Because I just want to ask you, man, because I'm getting the vibe from her that she's not like really that dodgy. So, Aaron, were you just like kind of going off on a tangent with that? Like, did she say something that maybe now you misinterpreted, or did she like just straight up blackmail you for money? Like, no two ways about it. Can you answer that for me? Let's have a look. Because the energy I'm getting from her is that she's not that nasty. Okay, that's not very clear. All right, you were doing a lot of talking to keep things straight on the home front, and you were really hopeful about this. You're really hopeful that this was going to bring in, and it feels like, okay, so this has unlocked some wisdom. It's unlocked some wisdom for you. Unlocking some wisdom. Let's just have a little look-see at this. Come on, dude. Stay with me. It's okay. Okay, yep, all right. So this is... Who dat? All right. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Wow, man, you've got me in such a... I'm so frazzled. I'm just trying to keep my shit together to do this with you. Okay. Come on, Aaron. All right. Yeah, we've got a secret. We know that. Okay. Now, what I asked you was, did you misinterpret this from her? Did she really do this? Or do you think he just kind of went a bit out there with this? Because that's the feeling I'm getting. That's what's coming to me, is that she probably wasn't really blackmailing you, but maybe you thought she was. But anyway, let's have a look here. Okay. All right. This is you. We're going to say this is you. This is you, okay? This is you, man. Okay. You're feeling oppressed. You're feeling anxious. You're worried about your friendships. And you're feeling though you need some kind of a little bit of luck around this. You're worried about loyalty. You're feeling anxious and oppressed. Okay. I actually really think, dude, I'm just going to say it. I feel as though you took what she said the wrong way, man. Is that right? You take what she said the wrong way. Now, do you know this now? Did you take what she said the wrong way? She didn't really mean to blackmail you, did she? Oh, Aaron. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, she didn't really mean to do it. You took this the wrong way and you killed a dude, man. Okay. And I can see why, because at the time you were really stressed about loyalty, money. You were thinking about money. You're thinking about your security, definitely thinking about your security and these secrets coming out to affect your security, and people with clever tongues. This older man, you're wondering about an older man, and how this is you're really worried about this older man. There's some anxiety around this dude and the loyalty that you feel towards this guy and your relationship with this guy coming out. Yeah. You got a secret. We know that. You're worried about that. We know that. You're worried about your reputation and your stability and your house and your home life. We know that. And, okay. And then, so this you thought was like a key to a new path, Just an opening to another path. That's what you thought the murder was, an opening to another path. Oh, okay. But now, and well-being. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, so you were feeling oppressed about this situation with this other man, and you were looking for a different path to okay, you were feeling oppressed about your relationship with this man because this man was there, and your security was at stake, your home was at stake, and your well-being was at stake, and you had to find a new pathway, and you thought that this was going to open a new pathway, shut down this old pathway, and you're worried about this reputation. Oh, okay. Now, this man, this older man, is clever, and I feel as though this man that you were having an affair with was an older man, much older man, older and wiser than you, really clever, really good with, I know who it is, but I'm not going to say it. I know who it is, but I'm not going to say it. Yep, we know who it is. Okay, this man's older than you, he's really clever, he's really good, successful, he's a businessman, much older than you. You had an affair with him, you felt real loyalty to him, you felt like he had your back. I got it. Financially, this man was your financial anchor. Yep, this makes sense. This man was your financial anchor, and you're really worried about this your reputation regarding this dude as well, regarding this man. And you're really hopeful that this secret wasn't going to come out with this guy, regarding this guy. I know who it is. Okay. And we know that you went off the rails. Hey, mate, you went off the rails. You did not think that through at all. Because she wasn't actually blackmailing you, but you just kind of read it that way. You read it that way. Yeah, okay. That's what he says. He says, I read it that way. I read it that way. I read it that way. Let's have a little look at, I think that's all I want to talk about with that for the moment. I think that's pretty clear. You feeling bad about that now, man? You must feel pretty bad about that. Is that why you're so remorseful? Yeah, because now you know. Because now you know everything, don't you? Because you're on the other side. And so's he. How's that going? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. Okay. I just want to have a little look-see, if you don't mind. I know this is going to be sensitive as well, just around what was going on when you took your own life. If you don't mind, I would like to ask you about that. Just wondering whether you felt as though... I'm actually just wondering whether your incarnation was really complete, or whether you just cut it short, and there could have been options for you. Can we have a look at that? Do you mind? You don't mind. Let's go. I feel like you weren't in your right mind. You weren't in your right mind. You were, but you weren't, okay? You were, but you weren't in your right mind when you did this. You were, but you weren't in your right mind. Okay. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's have a look. 3. Look. Zoom in a little bit there. So we've got the world. We've got the 3 of Swords. And the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. You actually were at the end of your cycle, weren't you, dude? Strength, force. 2 of Cups. Okay. King of Cups. Oh, I didn't check what your star sign was, but I feel as though, I think I said last time I felt you were a Scorpio, or your sun was in Scorpio. And 10 of Swords, Page of Pentacles, One of Swords. Yeah, okay. Alrighty. Let's have a look what we've got here. So, I'm getting, you were spiritually, you were at an end. This was the end of your cycle, and this kind of unfolded the way it was supposed to unfold, unfortunately for you. Like, that was a hard incarnation, right? Hard lessons to learn, a lot of pain, a lot of like magnificent kind of success, but a lot of like mental pressure, really, wasn't it, Aaron? A lot of mental pressure for you. A lot of success, but a lot of pressure. I know you always felt torn in two directions, right? You were always feeling torn, like always this choice to be made, always this choice to be made for you. Always these kind of like two pathways for you that you could go down, and really about as different as they could be. But I'm reading this here that you were you had everything was going for you. You were ready to start a new cycle in terms of your mental plane, your ego. It had come to an end. Your ego was ready to move on. Spiritually, spiritually, yeah, you come to an end, and spiritually you're ready to move on. You'd achieved everything. You had the world spiritually, your spirit, your soul, your incarnation. You'd created this for yourself. This is what you came in to do, and that's what you did. You created this manifestation for yourself, and you'd reached the end of that cycle of embodiment, and you're ready to start a new cycle. So when you did what you did was the right time. Mentally, you were in two minds all the time, and emotionally it was like an emotional tension for you, which I think we already looked at in the last reading, when you had like this tension between yourself and your partnerships. Always this tension between you and your partnerships, because you were looking to find yourself in your partner, which I do believe you had with your daughter's mother. I recognize that. We've spoken about that, and I recognize that she was your soulmate, but there was always this tension because she couldn't fulfill these other parts of you that you were sort of the baser parts of you, like the human ego parts of you that you wanted to fulfill. And that's what we're looking at here. You had these human ego parts of you where you felt as though you were like really emotionally, you were kind of a slave to your emotions. That's what I'm getting. You're a slave to your emotions. You couldn't control it. And you always had this like this choice to make, whether you were just going to like let it go and just sort of cave into your emotions and let your emotions take control of you and lash out in ways that were really inappropriate and really unnecessarily forceful, which is what you ended up doing, man. You actually had the potential to kind of rise above that, but at the same time it was really inevitable, because you had so much emotionally, you had so much kind of like stuffed down inside of you. It was like this really I can feel it down inside of me. It's like this really kind of heavy burden of emotions that you were holding on to, and I really don't feel as though you had an outlet for that. I don't think you knew how to express those emotions, which is probably what you were doing when you had these connections with other men, is that it felt like some kind of an emotional outlet for you, a way for you to get this force out, this strength out, because I feel as though you were, with other men, you were different to how you were with your life partner, with your daughter's mother. Physically, again, physically, you're at the end of a cycle, and it's been like you really were caught up in your ego, man. Your ego had really trapped you here. You were at the end of an ego cycle. Like your ego, from my perspective, the ego is not just like this plane within our brain. It's not just a sort of this brain sort of consciousness thing. It's our entire body. Everything that we do, we filter through our bodies, and your ego is your entire body, because that's the interface that we use. When we're embodied souls, our whole body is the thing that we use to interface with the world. It's our sensory box, and because we can so easily be stimulated through our sensory body, our sensory box, that's what makes ego so hard to overcome. And I really feel as though for you, you were at a pathway. You could have gone two different ways with this. Either way you could have gone, but ultimately you had reached the end of this cycle. This card's a little bit confusing to me, this message card down here. I just want to clarify that. You're definitely at the end of your cycle. Your body was definitely ready to go. Definitely ready to go. It actually feels to me like your body, you were actually being quite... Your body was really stressed. There was a lot of tension within you. 5, yeah, okay, so just this change. You're ready for a change here, and that's what this crossroads, this pathway is, this new path. You're ready for a change. So when you died, you were definitely ready to go. That's no surprise. That makes perfect sense. All right. So when you died, you were ready to go. You were in your right mind, but you weren't in your right mind. Okay. What else do you want to talk about, man? What else do you want to talk about? What's it like now where you are? What's it like now? You want to talk about that? Oh, do you want to talk about that brain thing? You want to talk about that brain thing? Because last time you mentioned that, yeah, it was there and it was a factor, but you were angry before that. So, is that anger to do with your childhood? Yes. Yeah, I know. You want to talk about that? Yeah, let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at your childhood. Let's have a look at your childhood. Okay. There's a woman around, a spiritual woman. Okay. All right. A lot of energy around there. Okay. A detached man. Very detached. I'm assuming that's your dad. And okay, a lot of ego as well. A lot of ego in your childhood. A lot of ego around you. Whoa, yeah, a lot of ego around you. So we've got the 7 of batons, the the Popess, the Ace of Swords, the 7 of... Okay, so very successful in your childhood. Yeah, very persevering physically and energetically, very, very successful, which we know. Okay. But definitely this guy around you, this real egomaniac, I'm going to say, very detached man around you, very detached. I'm not sure about your mum, but she seems like quite spiritual, quite religious, actually. So you kind of had this religious mother, but this detached father, emotionally detached father. He was really in his own head, really in his own ego, which I think we've established anyway. This feels like actually you are not an old soul. Feels like you're actually coming in quite relatively new. This is a relatively new cycle for you. These pathways for you. Lots of activity around you in your childhood. Lots of activity, but lots of no cups here. No emotional stability here. No. It's more about like material action and the mind, but no emotional stability here. And down here we've got somebody, it's like a competition, really competitive childhood. So yeah, that makes sense. Pushed to be really competitive here by this dude, I guess. And And your mother saw this competitiveness, and she was kind of trying to get you to persevere with it as well. Trying to get you to persevere and achieve as well. But for you yourself, you were kind of, really torn here. It didn't really feel like what was natural for you. Okay. Yeah, founded on ego. Your childhood was like really founded on ego. Okay, and it gave you a really different perspective, a really specific, the Hangman, gave you a really specific perspective in life. Okay, in the world. And to me, this is feeling just like, the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? That's what it feels like, doesn't it? The weight of the world on your shoulders. Still no cups. There's no emotional stability here at all. This is all about succeeding, attaining things, competing, being the best. Lots of movement and action. Lots of energetic expenditure. A very shallow, materialistic, not emotionally supportive environment for you to grow up in. And it's given you in your life to come a really particular perspective on life. You've really had to look at things in other ways that other kids probably wouldn't have had to go about things. That may actually, let's leave that card there and just have a little look at that and what that wants to talk about. So your perspective in childhood was shaped by a relatively detached father, but who was also quite egotistical, a mother who was kind of preoccupied with religion, which probably came across to you as being really hypocritical given how you were brought up. You're not really supported there. The weight of the world felt as though it's on your shoulders, and it definitely feels as though you're only just kind of at the first couple of incarnations, maybe the first couple of 100 incarnations. You're not a really advanced soul yet. This life has definitely, that last incarnation was definitely a challenge for you. You had to undergo, this was an ego challenge for you, and that's how you grew up. And I can relate, bro. All right, King of Swords again. So this guy's, your dad had a really massive influence on you, obviously, being that you're same-sex parent, but also in a way that is very, very unique to you and how you grew up and how you grew to see the world. That makes sense. At times you felt really withdrawn from your father, and also as though you almost had to just make your own path in life and follow your own time frame, follow your own wisdom, create your own wisdom for yourself even. So no wonder you kind of went off the rails, dude, because you just had no guidance. You had to kind of guide yourself, didn't you? Yeah, you did. You had to create your own pathway in life. You had to create your own pathway in life. And unfortunately, it does feel as though you've actually, even though I do feel as though you were emotionally really burdened by your emotions, you had no outlet for them. And I think that's because overall you had this kind of attachment to your ego, which is what caused you to kind of go off on all these crazy tangents, these just mad endeavors that you undertook, these crazy things that you went about doing. What the hell? Look, okay, he's back again. So you really felt torn between these two, and it was all ego driven, but you were torn between these two worlds, man, weren't you? You were really torn between these two worlds. Oh, finally we've got some emotional support here. So this is but this is within you. This is your emotional burden less than feeling like emotionally supported. This is, you feel as though like you've just got, I know you have this rage inside of you and you needed an outlet for it, that's for sure. And I think that's what football was for you, obviously. But I also feel as though your relationships with these other men was a really good outlet for you in terms of like just getting that energy outside of yourself and expressing yourself in that sense. And that's what this has to do with. Like, it's a really different way. Like, you had to kind of light this path for yourself, and it was a really different way. You had to really find your own way through this life, and how you had to kind of experiment how best to express yourself. And I feel as though actually when you killed Odin, I feel as though when that happened, you were really frightened, weren't you? You were really frightened. Yeah, you were really frightened that everything was going to come falling apart, and you've done all this work to create this life for yourself. So yeah, you were really frightened. I can understand how you kind of took this all out of perspective and got it all mixed up, because you were like really scared that everything was going to come falling apart. And here's the Lovers again, and this is your this was in your last reading, and definitely for me, the Lovers for you is basically trying to find yourself through other people. You didn't have an identity, and that's what kept coming to me during the web since we've had that last reading. You were really struggling with your identity, which you know, and you were really struggling to find love for yourself within yourself, weren't you? Definitely, that's what it is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I get you, man. Yeah. And it didn't feel fair. It felt unfair, hey. Felt really unfair. Justice here. Felt really unfair for you. That this is the pathway that you had to take in life. That you had to create your own life for yourself. That it was your responsibility to find a pathway. You actually had to go to, probably through a period of internal searching, I'd imagine. Some quite intense internal searching in relation to your finding your identity, finding the yin and the yang within, finding the masculine and feminine within, finding that within yourself, but then how to actually apply that in the real world, and being quite frightened of like being abandoned. That's the word that I get for you. Feeling frightened of being abandoned. That's what it feels like. Okay, and the King of Pentacles, and that's, yeah, you know, I mean, you attained great wealth in your life, there's no doubt about that, but I feel as though, you know, you're not really supported by any kind of emotional, I'm going to say you are a water sign. That's just what I'm feeling. You've obviously got a lot of water in your chart, and that's what you resonate to, and that's really lacking here. It's really lacking. You're really lacking that, and I think that's been a real struggle for you throughout your life, and that's probably why you felt so detached within yourself as well, because I do feel as though because of this like double kind of life that you were living, you weren't really attached to people except your daughter. Except your daughter. Yeah, I know, except your daughter. She was the person you were most attached to. She was the person who you felt most connected with, and I understand that. She was the person who you were most attached to. Yeah. Okay, we've got the Empress there. That's an interesting card. So, finding leadership in life. Finding leadership in a man's world, that's how I read that card. So finding leadership in a man's world. Okay, yeah, a lot of change for you, a lot of kind of chaotic, frenetic mind, mental energy around you. Okay. Oh, there's a cup. King of Cups. A Knight of Cups. So there's finally some cups. So I feel like this is you, okay? This is you, man. Like, we've got this real frenetic energy, this frenetic mind energy, and you actually had to find a way to become some kind of, become some kind of leader in a world where you felt a little bit, like in this really masculine world, the world of obviously football, your career, but just in general, like we live in a patriarchal society. And I feel as though this represents your desire to somehow kind of come to grips with how you were going to express yourself as a man who had these emotional, because, okay, yeah, I get it now. emotions were like, you kind of grew up in one of those houses where men weren't meant to have emotions. I get it now. I got it. Men aren't supposed to feel things. Yep, I got it. And so that for you was like a real struggle to find that and to be that emotional leader, probably within your relationship as well, to be that emotional sort of like take on that emotional leadership. And I think when people kind of tried to invest that in you, in your relationships, it made you feel really uncomfortable. When people tried to look up to you as the emotional support, as the emotional foundation in relationships, you just didn't have it in you because it's nothing, you were never taught that. So you probably retreated into yourself, and that's probably when this chaotic mental turmoil used to come out. Okay, I've got it. And yeah, but you were trying really hard to create this emotional, yeah, but you just had all this, but you just lashed out in really uncool ways. Like, what was that all about? No control. Just no control, yeah. No control. Just when it came, hey. You just had no control over it. Well, you did, but you just chose not to control it. Let's put it that way, dude. Come on. Take responsibility. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I know you know. Cool. All right, what else do you want to talk about, man? Is that it? What else do you want to talk about? You're sorry. Yeah, sorry. You regret it? Yeah. You know now. You're ashamed. Yeah, I know. I know. I know, I can feel it. It's all good. Don't be upset. It's okay. Thank you for coming. I just want to tell what you want to tell. It's all good. Yeah. All right, I think we're going to leave it there. He's happy to have said that. Don't really know what else there is to talk about. I think he's cool with that, and I'm very grateful that you came through, Aaron. I'm grateful to have talked to you. I hope that it's helped you to have express yourself. Yeah, I hope that it's helped you, and I hope that you're in peace over there, and that when you come around next time, it's a more sort of pleasant, peaceful incarnation. All right, thanks, man. All right. Okay, it's all good. All right, he's really emotional. All right, let's leave it. Namaste, Amor, fati, and next time.